All right, so here's section 9, and in this part, I'm going to go through some of the loans. Now, some of it is stuff that we occur when we bought this house, and some of it I'm going to touch upon is later years. But it always felt like we never could get ahead. We both, like, I had a very good paying job at that point because I had been promoted several times. He had a decent paying job, but with us together, there shouldn't have been a problem. We should have been able to have the extra money to pay things off, not have to take out loans, not have to put stuff on credit cards, actually be able to go on family vacations. But that wasn't our case. When we bought the house, it went under both of our names, both of our credits. So the mortgage and the deed were in both of our names. At that time, I think I had my car paid off. My name is the only one on the car because I originally bought it and we just never got to the point of putting his name on it. And it wasn't something that we felt was that big deal. Then he needed a car. And I think we bought this maybe around the time that we had that rental house before we bought our house. I wanted to go with a new vehicle because at the time you could get really good deals, 5 years, 0% APR. And then, you had a car that had like a warranty on it and they'd cover things, but he didn't want to do that. So we ended up with a used car, paying, in my opinion, too much, more than what we really had available, because with a lot of this stuff, before we would go into it, I'd say to him, I can't afford to pay this whole amount. You see what I bring in. You see what our bills are. And I can't afford this, doing this on my own. Oh yeah, I'm going to help. And every time I'd go into the situation and it'd be like maybe a month or two of help and then nothing. And that happened quite often. So with this vehicle, it was newer than mine, but used. And I will tell you, during the time that we were together, spoiler alert, yeah, we're not still together. But anyways, he beat that car to death, taking it to New York and New Jersey and South Carolina and just everywhere. It was always going somewhere. I remember one time, this was maybe just a few years ago, he had gotten into a fender bender. So we didn't turn it into the insurance because we didn't want the insurance to go up, because we already had problems with the car insurance because he notoriously would be speeding and would get speeding tickets. And the excuse you always gave me was, oh, well, I was involved in this illegal stuff and, I had to speed to get away from the authorities or whatever. Now, that is not information I was getting in 2017. I started getting that information more in 2019. So in 2017, there'd still be times where he'd be gone for long periods of time over the weekend, sometimes week. It was always an excuse related to work. So I wasn't really pressuring him to find out more when I should have been. So anyways, back to the car. So there was one time where he called me. So he got into this fender bender and we didn't claim it because we didn't want the insurance to go up. It was more cosmetic than anything. He called me up. It was like, babe, I was on such and such a road and this guy came up and said he could fix the bumper and or the front end and fix it all up, make it look good. But, it's going to be like, I think it was like $200. I mean, literally, this was some dude, supposedly. He said at a stoplight, and supposedly some dude come running up and said, oh, I've got this little mechanic's shop over here. Yeah, I can get you a real good deal to make your front end look good again. I just need $200. I was like, dude, I don't have money for that. And do you know this person? Are they licensed? Are they bonded? Are they going to do more damage to the car? So I, of course, started asking a lot of the sensible questions. And eventually he was like, oh, just forget about it. Now, on a side story, this was also the same area where the year we bought the house, he calls me up and is like, same road, maybe the same stoplight, I don't know, but supposedly he was at a stoplight, and some dude come running up to him trying to sell him a projector for like your in-home movie theater. And we wanted an in-home movie theater because downstairs in our basement, we had a room that had no windows in it. And we are like, oh, this would be perfect for a movie room. So we were slowly acquiring stuff to turn it into that. So we were looking at projectors, but supposedly he's just driving down some street and this guy like looks at him and is like, oh yeah, that looks like someone who needs in-home projector. Ran up and was like, oh yeah, I got this projector, I'll sell it to you for XYZ. I fell for that one. I gave him the money for that. I'm such an idiot. But anyways, so yeah, money was just not taken care of like it should have been. The loans, we had the mortgage, we had a loan out on the car for him. We had refinanced it, so we were getting a better rate going through a different bank. And then I had at the time I had 2, but since our time together, I've taken out 3 loans related to stuff with him and I from my retirement fund. Yeah, I know, stupid. Thankfully, the money just goes back in the retirement fund. The first one was the largest. That was to help with the down payment for the house, paying for furniture, paying for movie fees, all of that stuff. The second was a much lower one. And to be perfectly honest, I don't remember exactly what that was for, but I think it was to pay off some credit card debt we had because, like I believe I shared before, I was the one who was paying most of the bills. I would pay for the mortgage, the water, the lights, my phone bill. Yes, we paid phone bills separately. Most of the time I was paying for the debt on his car, even though he promised he would help. Sometimes he would help. I'd get maybe, $300-400 one week, maybe not the other, maybe $100 the next week. But, looking back on my bank statements for a period of time, like I had to recently for a legal situation, I realized that the money would come in and it would go out just as fast, but I wasn't paying attention. I did all the budget. I would tell him numerous times, do you want to help? Do you want the passwords? Do you want to see the Excel spreadsheet? Oh, no. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see that. Oh, you just take care of it. You're fine with that. So I was just adding one more thing to my already running list of stuff that I had to do. So, so those were the 2 loans at that time. And then last year, I did take out a 3rd loan, which I'll tell you about in a different section. We often had to take out loans. I remember us doing it a few times during this time. I know we did it at least twice on mutual credit card loans to pay them off, refinance, or like to combine them all into one payment and pay them off. And then unfortunately, there'd be something that would always come up. I'll tell you more about that in a second.